Why did Jim Wilson resign?
Well, on Friday, I was notified that there was allegations of sexual misconduct from Minister Wilson. We acted decisive. We were very decisive, swift, and asked him to resign.
What was your reaction to those allegations, and why did you not publicly state that Mr. Wilson was resigning due to sexual misconduct allegations on Friday?
Well, Travis, first of all, I take this very serious. I have zero tolerance for this behavior, and I want to emphasize zero tolerance for this behavior. When we sat down with the person that gave the allegations, they repeatedly asked us not to make this a media story. And I want to make sure that every single person on our team at Queen's Park knows they're going to have a safe environment, and if they come forward, they're going to be protected. And I will do everything I can to make sure that we protect our staff, to make sure they understand they have a safe environment. It takes courage to come forward and put truth to power, and I commend them for coming forward and having that courage. But I can assure every single person at Queen's Park and on our team, I'm going to protect them right to the nth degree. And when they ask me not to contact the media or make it a public story, they're a priority. They're a priority, and with all due respect to the media, they trump the media to make sure the people, the allegations, they're protected, and I will always do that.
Rob Ferguson, Toronto Star. Just to follow up on that, Premier, the question becomes, is you're a Premier who's talked a lot about transparency, and in opposition, the Conservatives were highly critical of Kathleen Wynne for when she had some incidents like this for not being transparent and truthful, and there's still one Liberal MPP that we don't know something about in this regard. So how can you say that, you know, basically you're being accused of a cover-up on this?
Rob, let me be very clear. We were decisive on our decision. We followed up with the proper protocol. We have an investigation going immediately. As soon as I found out, within hours, they were gone. They were done. But Rob, what is irresponsible is if I were to give the media the story against the wishes of the people that have the courage to come forward under very stressful times, asking us not to come forward to the media, I think it'd be irresponsible for the media. I think it'd be irresponsible for our party. And as a leader, I will not do that. I will not come forward when I'm there to protect my staff.
Just to follow up on that then, there were members of the government that were leaking disparaging things about Minister Wilson and about Andrew Kimber, despite you saying this. So how do you square that circle? How do you close that circle?
Again, Rob, my job as leader and as Premier is to protect the team, to protect people from Ontario. And it does take courage to come forward. I want to make sure our team is very clear. I have zero tolerance for this behavior. I won't put up with it. We follow the proper protocol. They were gone immediately. An investigation was launched immediately. And we assured the people that came forward with the allegation that they're going to be protected. They asked over and over again, can you please protect us, make sure this isn't a media story? So again, the people of our team trump the media every day. Every single day when serious allegations like this come forward, we aren't going to tolerate it. And I proved that we aren't going to tolerate it. Investigation happened immediately, absolutely immediately, and they were done within hours, probably less than hours, when we found out. We made sure that the people came forward with the allegations on both incidents. They were informed that they will provide counseling, they'll be protected, and they can go to the police if they wanted to. They haven't as of yet, they don't want to, but we're going to continue on with the investigation.
I just wanted to follow up. You mentioned that investigations were launched after the resignations on Friday. Who is the third party that is conducting these investigations, and what's the timeline for this?
Well, first of all, again, I want to emphasize this point, and I'm going to keep repeating it, that we launched the investigation immediately with a very reputable investigation team, former police officers that deal with this on a frequent basis, and we'll announce that at a later date. But right now, I'm not privileged to announce that. But they're going to get down to the bottom of it. They've done a great job so far in interviewing people. They're a very reputable firm. Again, they were former police officers that dealt with these situations, and they've been doing a great job, and I have all the confidence that they're going to give us everything that we need.
Okay, and are you going to commit to releasing the results or the report from these investigations?
My number one priority is to protect the people that came forward. As I said, it takes so much courage to come forward, and they're worried about so many different items. They have to know they're going to work in a safe environment under our administration, and if any other allegations come forward, they're going to be protected. Every single person that's come forward, they said, I need to be protected for so many reasons. That's my highest priority, is to make sure they're okay, they get any counseling they need. They're always going to be protected under my watch. And we take this seriously. I have zero tolerance for this, as I think I demonstrated on Friday. Within hours, they were gone, done. Yes, Cynthia.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
Can you comment about the bombshell revelations about Tony Clement last night? And it seems a lot of male politicians are getting themselves into trouble these days. What is your advice to them, and where do you personally draw the line on bad behavior?
Well, Cynthia, I found out this morning about Tony Clement. I understand it's under RCMP investigation, and I believe he's stepped down. Again, I have zero tolerance for that behavior. I can't comment on what the federal party is going to do, but I have zero tolerance for that. Very simply.
So what is your message, though, and where exactly is the line on bad behavior? What are you telling your own MPPs on what they can and cannot do? Can they date people in the party at Queen's Park? Can they send them late night messages? Like, where are the lines?
I think you have to be respectful of each other. No matter if it's a male, a female, you have to be respectful. And depending on what the message says, you know, if they're being disrespectful, that's unacceptable. And I think most people know what is respectful and what's not respectful. I think every single person in this room knows what being disrespectful is. And being disrespectful, I won't tolerate it. They'll be done quicker than they can say their name. They'll be out the door. And I've made that message very clear to our caucus, our team, our staff. But I want to make sure the staff understands that they're going to be able to walk into my office, their manager's office, at any given time if an allegation comes up, and they're going to be protected. I'll protect them with my life.
Hi,
Yes,
Premier. Lucas Myers, News Talk 1010.
Yes.
I do have a question on another matter, but I just want to go back to the first question that Travis asked with regards to what happened on Friday. The original statement from the office was that it was about addiction issues.
And it was.
And
let me answer that
so,
question.
yes, if you could clarify
Okay,
how much
I'll
of it
be-
was
I'll be
addiction, how much
very-
was the allegation?
I'll be very clear. The addiction issue is a real issue. Mr. Wilson has gone to rehab. Following that, immediately after, they said there's been allegations. And the person that came forward with the allegations asked to be protected. And I'm gonna protect that person, no matter who it is. And it was so important to this person. And again, I use the word courage because that's what it takes. It takes courage to come forward and confront people that do this. But we acted immediately. We launched an investigation as soon as we heard it, and I'm not going to put up with it. I just won't put up with it. But I want to make sure our staff knows that my door is open, their manager's door is open at any given time. So to be very precise, if it comes between telling the media and protecting someone, I'm protecting someone. I'm just going to do it. It's nothing against the media. I think everyone in the media understands that. I'm sure it's happened at your own companies. It has happened at your own companies, actually. And you want to protect the person over anything.
So in that case, I guess the follow-up would be if it was both the addictions and the allegations, was the allegation something that just kind of, it went over the line? Or?
No, the allegations, as soon as we mentioned the allegations without the investigation, I think we're going down a rocky road there after this person came forward and asked us numerous times to make sure it's not a media issue. You know, the media are pretty smart people. Okay, that's Doug Ford saying the media are smart people. It would take about 3 seconds to figure out who this person was. And I'm not going to do that to this person.
Hi, Premier. Colin DeMello from
Hi,
CTV
Colin.
News. You said earlier that Jim Wilson was asked to resign. Did he resign of his own accord, or was he asked to resign?
He was asked to resign.
And he did so after
He did.
that. If he had not resigned, were you willing to fire him?
He would have been fired instantly.
Okay, and let me just ask, who within your office was it that had the final say on putting out that statement on Friday? Was it yourself? Did you authorize that statement that did not include the sexual misconduct allegation?
Colin, at the end of the day, I'm fully responsible for anything that happens to our party or down at Queen's Park. And yes, I approve that statement, making sure on condition that we're going to protect the person that came forward. Yes.
Hi, Premier Farah from CBC News.
Yes.
You spoke earlier about creating or making sure that there's this comfortable and safe environment
That's
in
right.
Queen's Park. In the span of a week, we've seen the departure of your senior cabinet minister, Jim
Yes.
Wilson, for this allegation of sexual misconduct, and the departure of one of your senior advisors as well. What does the vetting process look like for these people, and does that need to change?
Well, let's first of all talk about Minister Wilson. Minister Wilson's been around all the way back before 1995, I believe. I think he got elected in 95, or it could have been 90. So, you know, would you know? Would any of the media know? I didn't know. But when it happened, I don't care who it was. I don't care if he was there for 40 years. We acted decisively. We acted swiftly. He was gone. I don't care who it is and part of our administration.
What about for your staff and Andrew Kimber? There are suggestions that he left because of an allegation of sexual misconduct. Is that true, and should that vetting process change as well for staffers?
We have a pretty good vetting process, but can there always be improvements anywhere? I would say we can always improve, which we're doing. But again, he lasted about a minute when we found out, and he was gone too. But even with the person that came forward, the allegations with himself, you know, they wanted to be protected. And I'm sending a clear message to our team. Come forward. If there's any other allegations, please come forward. You will be protected. And this is proof in the pudding that I'll protect them no matter what it takes. Because that's everyone's priority. It should be the media's priority, and it's my priority to protect individuals like this. Yes.
Hi, Premier Ford. Laura Stone with the Globe and Mail.
Yes, Laura.
I'm just wondering if Jim Wilson actually admitted to these allegations, because right here you are basically convicting him of having done something when you're discussing allegations. So did he actually say that he did these things?
I can't discuss what he said, but he understood. He understood the situation, and he understood that he needed to leave the party.
And are you willing to put a process in place at Queen's Park? I mean, you mentioned if someone has a concern, they can come to you or they can come to their manager. What if the concern is about you or their manager? Is there going to be an independent person who they can come to?
Yes, they know the process. They can go to HR. They can go to the commissioners, but they're going to be protected. At the end of the day, I think we have a pretty robust process down there. Can we always make it even tougher? Absolutely, we can. There's no denial on that. But I think we have a very good process, and I think it was proven on how quickly we moved on this. I'll move as quick in the future if there is any allegations in the future, and I just pray to God there isn't. I really do. I want to make sure that it's not just our party, all parties, anyone that works at Queen's Park, they should have the right to be able to walk in and feel safe in their work environment like anyone in Ontario should.
Premier, hi. Sean Jeffers,
Hi.
Canadian Press. It's been 5 days, 6 days since the initial report of Mr. Wilson's resignation took place. Why has it taken the government so long to clarify that there were actually allegations of sexual misconduct here?
Well, let's just add up, not that it makes a difference. It was Friday afternoon, it's Wednesday morning, but that doesn't matter if it was 4 or 5 days. Again, we launched this investigation. It would have been careless, reckless, premature to go out there without us knowing. That would have been the worst thing to do. On top of that, when the people are coming up, and it's not easy for these people. It was tough, and I commend them for doing it. I can't release it to the media. I'm sorry. I got to protect them. Again, I go back. It would take the media about 3 seconds to figure out who it is, and that's it. The media has a job to do. They'd publish the person's name, and then not one single person after that would come forward after the media got a hold of this person. So I'm protecting the person, and we're addressing it, and we moved rapidly, swiftly.
I just want to be clear. So is the investigation ongoing, or has it concluded?
No, it's still ongoing.
And you weren't committing at this point to releasing the results of it, even in a way to protect the victim?
No, because the victims are saying they don't want the media. Now it's turned into a big media situation, which I understand. It's not the media's fault, and it's not the people that came forward's fault. It's the two people that did this. It's their issue. They're done. They're gone. See you later. Now our job is to make sure that we have a safe working environment, which we will, and I truly believe we have, and to make sure that there's not one single stone unturned. We're going to turn over every single stone, talk to every single person, and that takes a while. We have quite a few people, and right across the board. But I think we're sending a very clear message that this isn't going to be tolerated. It just won't be.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.
And thank you for your time today, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate it.